All right. Thanks for
One's
showing
gonna
up.
be worried.
Go for it, Callie.
Hi everyone, I'm Callie, if you don't know me. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm going to talk a little bit about my art and what I've been doing with Evergreen, and then I'm going to read a poem that I wrote. And so I have two art pieces up here and an art piece here. Some are still work in progress. Please check them out if you want. They are still kind of wet, some of them, so don't touch them. Or if you do, you're going to get oil paint on them. And so at Evergreen, I am doing an independent contract in Middle Eastern art, alchemy, and feminism. And I'm researching women figures in the Middle East and doing art projects on them. I'm hopefully going to do 4 pieces total, but I'm researching like the symbolism and women figures that have been kind of like erased, and that happens a lot. And it's really interesting to me because I read the 4 subversive female figures in Israel's tradition. It's a book recently. It has Judith, Esther, and a few others. And what I found really interesting is that these women, there's a lot of controversy around it because it has to do with female bodies and like their sexuality. And these women are seen as like heroine figures who use their femininity in a way to really relinquish like very evil and horrible power structures that exist. And one of my favorite is when one of the females acts in like a very weak way towards one of the males in what they describe as like a rapey kind of way. Being like, oh, I'm a woman, I'm so weak, I'm like coming. I'm here, you can totally take advantage of me. And like cutting off the guy's head, which I'm like, yeah, totally got that one. You know, that's tight. And then another one is like kind of along the same lines, and like the slandering that goes on between another woman of like saying that she cheated on her husband and like all this stuff. And she rescues little boy Daniel, and the story goes that he relinquishes her name. And it's so interesting to me that like women's bodies, like in the sense of like them giving birth and like having sex has been such a taboo thing, but it seems so interconnected to me with like higher power and like what we call God. And so all of my pieces are to like help restore that in women and like the symbol of that. And so specifically in these pieces, I'm using Islamic patterns to represent that, and trying to find that like interconnectedness and help bring that. And I've also been reading Judy Chicago's work, which is really interesting. She talks about the symbol of the triangle having to do with like feminism and like the symbol of the female basically, and how it represents like balance. And someone brought up like it's also shaped of the yoni, which I thought was really interesting. But she does these table pieces of all these women who have been really powerful symbols, and when you walk by them you can like see it, and then like as you walk towards like another part it disappears, and it's supposed to symbolize that for her. And she goes a lot into the symbols of the triangle. And so after these pieces I'm probably going to go more into like Judaism symbolism and like diving into the triangle more. I think is really interesting, like of being balanced. It's like I didn't think of that to be like symbolizing balance, sort of, but then I was like, yeah, you only need 3 legs on a table for it to balance, you know? And I want to like discover that symbol and like what that means more. And it's been a cool journey, and like I want to share it too. It's like partly me being a part of this because I think this information is kind of like lost. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. And now I'm gonna read a poem. It's called Where the Dragon Lays. The cliffs stood tall and with anger. The wind felt as if it cried. All the pain inside the deep caves, there is no sight. The noises echo throughout the cave. Everything is heard. Everything was heard. Everything was heard. The noises wanted to jump out. Below the hills, everything is still. Nothing wants to move, but the water twitched with all the trauma hiding underneath the surface of the trees. The fear was real, the sharpness was real. The earth was burnt and rough, expelling toxins from the past. Fire stays here, fire lays here, burning faster, 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 lightning fire. The dark force is in it all, whispering and challenging. To be human is not enough. The fire is burning inside of you, pulling, wanting, fearing. The egg is hot with knowledge, being from here, but not here. The sense of something beyond comprehension, filling a gap of 1,000 years. There was something there, just waiting, patiently with big eyes, waiting for the moment of weakness, the crack of the egg, the sliver of the cave, the brokenness of the earth. This is where we found the dragon to lay. The brokenness gave us protection. The pieces made us stronger. The force a part of the force. The egg cracked from the warmth. Not all that stays here is dead.